Hey guys, how you doing? Ken Arnold here with Dan Franco. Which side are you on? Oh, there you are.
That's Dan over there.
And Rob's over there.
Hey guys.
Robert's over there. Welcome to our first live feed together through Actors Club.
Yeah, this is cool. This is really cool, guys.
It's awesome. And today what we're doing is we're going to be talking about the SAG Awards, which if you guys are not aware, are tonight on TNT and TBS. I'm going to bring up their logo, and it's on from 8 o'clock to 10 p.m., and then it replays at 10 p.m. in case you miss it the first time. So the Screen Actors Guild Awards are tonight, and I'm going to bring us back up now.
Where are we? There we are.
There we are. So we're back up now, and we're all members of SAG. Dan,
we are.
You got your
proof. Your proof.
We do. We're official when we're up to date because we got to vote in the SAG Awards this year.
Yes, we did.
Every
we all
year,
voted.
But
yeah. And I was actually a member of the nominating committee too this year,
Very cool.
I was really pleased with that. But there's so many options.
It really is.
It's overwhelming, and the talent is just phenomenal of our peers. To be in such an illustrious group.
Oh, outstanding.
Yeah.
It's amazing to, and that's what I like about the SAG Awards, because the other awards are voted on by critics and members of the media, and the Academy is members of the Academy, but the Screen Actors Guild Awards, it's your peers. It's the other actors.
Yeah. People
who do this craft every day, and people that you work with, and people that you respect. Yeah. And I think that award to me is the one that means the most for an actor.
Absolutely.
To me, it would if I won.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to throw the Oscar
You're
away.
not going to throw the other ones away.
No, you wouldn't say no, not
at all.
Right.
But yeah.
But it's interesting because it makes me think about, do we do it though for the awards? Because there are a lot of people who aspire to that, and it really is it's about your craft and just being able to do it well.
Yeah,
right?
no.
From an actor's perspective.
Yeah. Right.
We don't do it for the awards.
No.
So, guys, if you get an opportunity, please comment. Let us know you're here. Let us know you're watching. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Charlie Bunce, I see you join. Hey, buddy. If you've seen any of the films that we're going to be talking about, please chime in. Let us know.
Yeah, so let us know. We're going to go through the nominees and through who we picked in our voting. And when we're talking about a certain category, if you want to chime in with what you feel, definitely hit us in the comments.
Person. I love that person. Yeah, let us know what you think.
Also, Dan, if you would. Let's start it out. They do something really cool every year at the beginning of the SAG Awards, and we're gonna do that too as well. Why don't you start us off,
right.
Dan?
So they always open up with their "And I'm an actor." That's the SAG Awards pre-show. Their opening, and so we were all thinking about what our story would be if we had the chance to open the show. And so in 1977, my parents loaded me in the car and took me to the drive-in theater. Drive-in, are they theaters? Drive-in theaters. The drive-in.
They were drive-in theaters.
And we saw Star Wars, and I was just my 3-year-old brain just went out the back of my head, and I said that's what I want to do. I want to do that. I was talking about being a Jedi, but so my parents gave it a little time, and I was still staying with that. So they finally kind of talked to me and said, "Well, those are actors. They pretend, they go to a place and they make these movies and it's pretend." And I said, okay, that's what I want to do. And they gave it a little time, thinking that maybe that would go away. And I'm Dan Franco, and I'm an actor.
That's great. That's awesome.
All right, Robert, how about you?
Well, I grew up, my mother was an actress, and she did Broadway, and my grandfather was a filmmaker, so I was sort of around it. And as a young kid, my grandfather would put me in some of these little industrial films that they would do. But I think the first time I realized I stepped on my Broadway debut, I like to say, when I stepped on a Broadway stage for the first time, I was 5 years old, and my mother was rehearsing a show where she had stepped into it called Never Too Late with Arthur Godfrey and Maureen O'Sullivan at the Playhouse Theater. And there was no daycare then, so I'm running around the back of the set, and I noticed that they were rehearsing this scene where Arthur Godfrey would go to the front door, open it, and say, "Come in, Mr. Mayor." and nobody was coming in the door. And I'm standing, and you know, then you see like a set was plywood in the stairway, and it was magic being on this make-believe set. So I stood outside the door because he was going to do the scene again, and he said, "Come in, Mr. Mayor." And I came in and I waved at everybody like this, and next thing I know, this mean old stage manager, like that guy on I Love Lucy, you know, had me by the waist, and I'm screaming, "I want my mother!" And my mother was mortified. I never went back to another rehearsal again for her, but I think that's when I had the bug, and and then my first really big movie as a kid is that I was an extra in Hello Dolly. They were filming up in Garrison, New York, and they needed local people to be kids in the school and whatever, and Garrison was used as Yonkers. So that was my early, and I've had the bug ever since. And I've been a SAG AFTRA member, an AFTRA member actually. I joined AFTRA first in 1981, and I joined SAG, I think in 2003 or 2004, doing an industrial film. So that's, and I'm an actor.
Okay, and that'll wrap it up because we have no more time after that long-winded story. Thank you, Robert.
Hey, we got an hour podcast. We got to entertain, right?
And yes, and you know I'm going to bust your chops as often as I can today because that's what we do.
That's what we do here.
All right. Yes, I always wanted to be a Major League Baseball player ever since I was a little kid. And I did that for a long time. I did it for 9 years professionally. I played baseball. And near the end of that, I was looking for what I was going to do next in my life, and I wasn't sure. And one day I was watching a soap opera, and I knew that one of the actors in the soap opera used to play professional baseball.
Interesting.
And I said I could do what he's doing. And I called up, took an acting class. I called Maryland Hall for the Creative Arts. I took an acting class, loved it, and the rest is history. I'm Ken Arnold, and I'm an actor.
So you got your card on an industrial?
I got my card originally on an industrial in 1981 through AFTRA. Yes.
2001, and I earned it via the 3 extra roles.
Okay.
By getting my 3.
Qualified.
And then,
that,
yes,
right.
I qualified via that, and then I signed up.
Cool.
And it was cool.
I got mine on an Edge Pro Gel commercial. It was at the Raven Stadium. There were a bunch of us under 6 feet tall who were playing the old black and white football players with the leather helmets.
Oh, love it! Right.
And,
super.
And then there was the Ravens. They were all, and everybody that they cast as a Raven was 6'5", 300 pounds, and we had to line up opposite them.
You learned about type very early.
Yeah.
You know where you fit, what it works, right?
Donald M chimed in, said, "Great story, Robert."
Thank you, Donald.
All right,
Thank
Donald,
you
don't have to kiss his butt.
You got the job already. Okay.
Relax.
So we're gonna jump in here on
Penny
this
Nichols
category.
is in too as well. Sorry. Say, hey, Penny. Is she back yet?
You don't have to talk so close.
I don't have to talk so close. Okay.
Yeah.
And folks, as you're out there, please share this. Let other people know that this is going on. So we're gonna jump in on the primetime television side of the SAG Awards here.
Let me get to my... All right, so we're going with Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a television movie or limited series?
Or limited series.
Is that where we're going to go first? Okay.
These limited series are funny because, I guess they didn't have one in time this year, but American Horror Story is always in that. And they're in like their 7th season at this point. Like they're a show. They're not a limited series. It's just kind of an anthology sort of show.
They're not regular though, in the sense that they spread it out over the course of like half a season. It seems like there's specialty times that they're on aired.
No, they have a regular slot.
Okay.
But they just have a way that they log that one in there as into that category.
Okay.
So the nominees in Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Television Movie or Limited Series are... there's really only two shows that made it in here, but multiple nominees from each.
Interesting.
So from Big Little Lies, we have Laura Dern, Nicole Kidman, and Reese Witherspoon.
Yep.
And from Feud, Betty and Joan on the FX networks, we have Jessica Lange and Susan Sarandon.
Yeah.
So
both great shows.
Yes, I only watched one episode of Big Little Lies, so I can't say that I'm a regular watcher of that. Yeah. And I only watched one episode of Feud as well.
I watched Feud all the way through. I love Feud.
I'm going to defer to you on this topip.
Yeah.
So
I'm deferring as well.
Yeah.
Although I did my pick based off of Melissa, my wife. She watched. So so here's the thing. We try. You get the nominations come out in December, and you start getting your screeners in early January, like right around the holidays. Sometimes you might get a couple right before the new year, the awards come in right around the new year, and then you have until we had to vote by Friday
midday
the 19th.
or something. Yeah.
So you have only about 2.5 weeks to try to watch all these movies and all these TV shows. So you just can't get it all in. It's very difficult. But you do your best.
Yes.
And then you defer to people whose
opinions you value.
Right.
I mean, it couldn't possibly. I mean, but we have a responsibility, though. I mean,
Right.
I've heard other actors say I feel the same thing. We have a responsibility to watch it and to know what's up, but it is hard, and you have to go by little clips or a particular episode, not the whole series.
Right.
Yeah. That's true, because I don't have time to binge watch all the episodes of Big Little Lies or Feud, or in a 2-3 week period.
It would
of time.
take 2 years to go through, and you'd have nothing but watching television. I mean, I'd love if all I could do is watch TV nonstop.
I mean, I struggled to make it through all the films that were that had nominations from, and I finally made it through all those the final day to vote, and got my votes in.
So Bob, who did you vote for in that category?
Well, I love both of the work both the actresses did, but Jessica Lange got my vote on Feud as Joan Crawford in that. She's a great actress. I've loved Jessica Lange over the years, from when she did Frances was the first time I saw her, when she played Frances Farmer, and then Sweet Dreams. I just think she's a wonderful actress, and it was a challenge. Susan Sarandon did a really great job too, but when they're pairs like that and they're both in the same show, I don't know about you guys, but I find it really difficult because they're all good, and how do you judge two really wonderful performances? So
yeah, you know what it comes down to a lot of times too. It's what they've done in the past, and what you've liked in their past work.
And I think that's what colored it. I think that I mean Susan Sarandon has done brilliant work as well, but something about Jessica Lange, there's a depth to her acting that really it draws me in, and so that was my vote.
Charlie Bunce agrees with you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Deserves to win everything all the time.
Yeah.
But Penny Nichols went with Nicole, and I'll segue right there, and I'll say, because that's who I voted for, Penny. So you and I see the same way. Now, I thought in the episode that I did watch that she was in, she was amazing. I mean, she's good in almost everything she does.
Absolutely.
And she picks good projects. She doesn't pick projects that are, that she's not.
I think she might win. I think Nicole Kidman is going to win, even though I voted.
She did win the Golden Globe.
She did.
Yeah.
So that's. Yeah.
So, and that's always a precursor to the SAG Awards, which is a precursor to who wins the Oscar. So it's interesting to see.
Yeah.
But there are always upsets and always differences.
I went with Laura Dern because I figured Nicole's getting a lot of votes anyway, and I like Laura Dern, and based on the conversations I'd had, all three of them were amazing. So I threw a vote Laura's way.
Hey, Arlette Thomas Fletcher, thanks for joining.
Arlette, good to see you. Yes. I just met Arlette for the first time, and she is absolutely fabulous. I'm glad to see you.
So now on to outstanding performance by a male actor in a television series or television movie or limited series.
Okay.
So the nominees are Benedict Cumberbatch for Sherlock, the Lying Detective, Jeff Daniels for Godless, Robert De Niro for Wizard of Lies, Jeffrey Rush for Genius, and Alexander Skarsgård for Big Little Lies.
Awesome. And who would like to go first? Can I go first?
Go ahead.
First, you go
All right.
first.
Well, it's just a lock for me, Benedict Cumberbatch. I love the show Sherlock. It's my favorite show out there. So I just, I got to go with him.
Bumblebug Cumberbunt?
Yes, exactly. So I did see Godless. Jeff Daniels is in that, and he plays a great character. He plays a bad guy. So when you're playing a bad guy, you can do just about whatever you feel like doing.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that with some other characters coming up with the bad characters.
Robert De Niro again playing a bad guy in The Wizard of Lies, which is based on the Bernie Madoff. And that was and again, De Niro did a great job, but it's hard trying to play a real person.
That was my vote. Basically the only one I saw this year in that category, and he was. I mean, he wasn't just De Niro doing De Niro stuff. It was definitely a great performance.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe Redding, thanks for joining us. How about you, Robert? What do you got?
Yeah, no, I went with you, Ken. Benedict Cumberbatch. Same thing. A powerful performance, great show. These again, they're all wonderful, wonderful actors, and sometimes I even think, why do we have these awards? Why do you have to point someone out as being better? Because everyone's working, everyone's doing their craft, everyone is trying to make a living, or they're making a great living in this business. So sometimes I've got that little why are there awards sometimes. We don't give we should give awards for best nurses, or best cooks.
Are you the reason why everybody gets an award? Is that what we're saying right now?
You know, I mean, but other industries, it's a very narcissistic industry that we're in.
It is a narcissistic industry.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we're actors.
I don't mind people getting awards.
Right.
You know?
I don't mind it. I'm just bringing up the point of view. I'm curious to know what other people think. It's like, what about other industries that you know, the best nurses? There should be a great best nurses, and they don't televise, and these people save lives.
I know.
I don't
disagree. But we're in the entertainment business.
It's getting real here.
That's what we do.
It's getting real. Get real.
That's what we do. You love this pregame show. Thank you, Meg.
Yeah, Meg.
We love you too. The woman from France. Do we want to tell her we are not at the actual SAG Awards?
Right.
Yes, we are not there. There's a comment that came in on YouTube from France.
Oh yes.
They were asking about the stars who are there. We don't know who actually is at the event in LA.
Yeah,
so
this is a
I mean, it would be
local
great,
show.
and maybe in the future we'll get a chance to do that.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
yes, but thank you for watching us on YouTube.
Merci bien.
That's amazing. Thank you. But yeah, we are not at the actual SAG Awards, and I wish I was, because I would love to see Laura Papin.
And she was asking, and we'll get to that when we get to that category, if Laura Papin was part of the group that was nominated with Orange is the New Black, and we'll find that out. I didn't see the full list on that category, but I'll find it by the time we get there.
Sure.
What's Charlie saying? Can we scroll down just a little bit? You don't want bitter losing. What's Charlie saying there?
You don't want bitter losing nurses.
No, that's a good point. The repercussions could be quite negative. Thank you, Charlie, for that.
So now we're into the standard series, the regular, not limited series.
Right.
Outstanding performance by a female actor in a drama series. So we've got Millie Bobby Brown for Stranger Things.
Yep.
Right.
Claire Foy for The Crown.
Yes.
Laura Linney for Ozark.
Oh, she was great.
Wonderful. Elizabeth Moss for The Handmaid's Tale.
Wonderful actress.
And Robin Wright, the new lead of House of Cards, right here.
The president, the new.
Good for her.
Yes, exactly.
Outstanding.
So you guys go ahead and start.
All right, so my pick is Claire Foy.
Yeah.
And again, that's because my wife watches The Crown. I don't particularly watch it, but my wife, when we are sitting up at night watching television before we fall asleep, she puts The Crown on, and I catch episodes. And I was just amazed by this woman. She's great. She's fabulous. Actress. I've seen Stranger Things. Love that show, but I think that Claire Foy takes that.
Yeah.
And I've seen Ozark. Laura Linney did a great job on that, but she's playing Laura Linney in an extreme situation. This woman has become someone else, Claire Foy, in The Crown. Yeah. So a real person again, which is difficult.
Play and to emulate that. And sorry, go ahead.
No, just cut me off.
No, go for it.
No, don't just cut me off like you always do. We're just kidding, Robert. So anyway, and of course, I've worked with Robin Wright, and I was totally in awe of her when I worked with her on House of Cards. But Robin Wright, again, as good as she is, I think Claire had a leg up this year
to do that.
Yeah.
I was a huge Crown fan. I binge watched it. I remember the first season. I loved it. The writing is brilliant. All the production values. Every member of the cast is powerful. It's so well directed. All the various directors that step in, which I think is pretty amazing. I don't know if a lot of people realize that a lot of these series don't have the same director from episode to episode. Different directors will step in a different style, a different cinematography, but really a powerful show. And I Claire Foy, as much as I respect all these other actresses, I voted for Claire Foy as well.
I went with Millie Bobby Brown, who plays Elle or 11 in Stranger Things. I just think the depth of that character and what the demands on her, and she's
as a kid
15 years old, and she's just amazing. So that's where I went.
Excellent.
Now, question about that. We're talking about younger people because there's some questions of that coming up. Do you think that actors need to earn their time, or as a young actor, if you're amazing, you're just ready to get that kudos?
Because it's in theory it's supposed to be for the calendar year or for the season year,
right?
And this isn't. They have a lifetime award, and that's what Morgan Freeman's getting this year. So.
Right, exactly. Later on. So keep going, and you'll accumulate it.
Now, Penny said Elizabeth Moss. That's probably who I think will probably win, because they just really. I haven't watched Handmaid's Tale. My wife has. She loves it.
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. She won the Golden Globe, didn't she?
I know they won for best show. I don't know if she did. She win?
People guys know Steve Morris has joined.
If
Welcome,
you know
Steve.
out there who won the Golden Globe, did Elizabeth Moss win a Golden Globe this year?
Precursor
Just let us
to what
know.
might
Just
happen,
comment, please.
But she won the Emmy last year, so
Yeah.
it was definitely. I mean, she's got to be the leader out of the clubhouse, you know.
Sure.
And Charlie Bunn said Linny deserves to win everything most of the time. Linny is great.
But I thought Jessica Lange deserved to win everything all the time. I mean, who is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a different category.
Different
sorry,
category.
sorry.
But we just went back because
But he said everything, so everything means every category.
Every
No?
category. Yeah. Even if she's not in it, she should still win.
Just Laura Linney. And the winner is Laura
Laura
Linney.
Linney.
Was she in it? No, she was not. She was in like 6 other things, but not
But
this
she's
one.
so good, you think she's in it.
Yes. She's so
It's
good.
so good, you think she's in it.
And she walked by in the background, and she won an award. She won Best
Exactly.
Leading Actress.
Hey, Judi Dench has done that a couple times.
She's
Judi Dench,
involved.
I mean,
yeah.
she
We'll
was
get
in
to her.
Shakespeare in Love for about 35 seconds,
Yeah.
and
We'll get
Oscar.
to her.
Right.
We'll get to her.
Yeah,
Lang
good.
all Linny most.
There he goes.
Okay, there it is. Okay, thanks, Charlie.
So, outstanding performance by a male actor in a drama series. The nominees are
All right.
Jason Bateman for Ozark, Sterling K. Brown for This Is Us,
Sure.
Peter Dinklage for Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
David Harbour for Stranger Things, and Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul.
Wow. Again, it's tough, man. It's
It-
tough to pick because these are all great actors,
Yeah.
and they're all great shows.
And can I also add too that from the little bit of the nominating stuff that you don't know how many actors we had to pick 5
Yep.
choices
Yes.
out of must have been sometimes 60, 70 actors
Whew.
in a category and only pick 5 and it's overwhelming. So it's really to get just to these 5. I mean, people have gone through the mill.
Yeah.
I was on the committee the prior year, and the same. Yeah, I mean, it's just, and then you get a book, and it's just all the codes and numbers for all the people who are in that category, who are submitted for that category, and it's pretty incredible. And you get down. You think it'd be easy to pick 5, but you have 3 solids, and then you have about 14 that could be your last 2, and it's difficult to narrow it down.
But that too, if anybody wondered, it does. It is a vote that truly comes from all the peers right from the get-go. It's a wide range, and a lot of people get into that category, and it's. I guess I'm saying it's very open. It really is an open process. People wondered.
So, who'd you pick, Robert?
I picked Peter Dinklage, Game of Thrones. I think. I mean, all of them are great, but I powerful actor, and I loved him also in 3 Billboards.
Yeah, he was
as well.
great. Outstanding in that film.
You know, really wonderful.
Yeah.
So he's a powerful actor, and
He's a fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
How
I
about
love the
you?
show.
So I struggled here because there's a couple of my favorite actors in this category, and Dinklage. I mean, I feel like there have been prior seasons of Game of Thrones that have been much more focused on his character and much more him centric. He sort of got this season, which was a shorter season, sort of got slid off to the side a little bit with some of the things that were going on. Love David Harbour in Stranger Things. But I went with Sterling K. Brown. He is right now. I mean, he hadn't been on my radar until last year, the prior cycle, and he did Christopher Darden in the People vs. O.J. Simpson.
Yes.
Yes, he
Yeah.
And then Stranger Things.
was great.
Then This Is Us came on, and
Yeah.
he's just I feel like we talk about like all the stillness and just so sincere and so true and just so simple. His performance is just very. Not a lot extra going into it, and I love it. So he's my vote.
And he did win the Golden Globe. I saw that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know he won the Golden Globe.
So that might be the call then. That might be the call.
I actually went with Jason Bateman. Actually,
You
believe it
did?
or not, because
Okay.
Ozark is such a different role for him. It's a drama, but it's a dark comedy as well. It's got that dark comedy, and he's
I love him.
great
Yeah.
in comedies. I mean, he's just a great actor.
No, I admit I haven't jumped into
So-
Ozark yet.
But Ozark is by far one of my top 3 new favorite shows that's out, and I can't wait for season 2. I mean, it was so tense and so just, what you wanted to watch the next episode. You were like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? And Laura Linney in it was incredible as well.
Charlie.
But
Yeah.
but Jason Bateman, because it was outside of his normal playground.
Yeah.
Now he's in a drama. How many times have you seen Jason Bateman in a drama?
Right.
You see him in these comedies all the time, but this was a drama, and it does have a dark comedic side to it, but it's not heavy. So that's why I picked Jason Bateman.
Right.
I've seen This Is Us. I just can't get into it. I think Sterling is a great actor, but I just, because I like the show Ozark so much. That's what did it for me.
Cool.
And that's interesting too, because we're talking about a performance. So when you talk about Peter Dinklage not being in the show a lot as opposed to earlier seasons, but if we're voting a performance, is it the actor's fault that he doesn't get to have a bigger role that season? I'm not commenting because I support your votes, and actually I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should have changed it, but no, seriously, it's interesting how that affects our perceptions and how maybe other SAG members voted.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
Okay, what we got?
Who's reading that one? You gonna read that one, Dave?
You guys, yeah. So we're getting into the comedy series now, which I want to take a segue here real quick. I don't know how we missed it. I'm hoping it was just not in the cycle, like that it missed the deadline for the nominations, but the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, how that didn't get nominated for Tony Shalhoub or Rachel Brosnahan or Ensemble or
I think it was just a deadline. Maybe?
I'm hoping it was a deadline because it did come out kind of in I think in December, but it was up for the Golden Globes and it won everything there.
Right.
So. That is by far, I think, just the best show on TV right now, and I don't know how we missed that. I'm hoping that it's just a deadline thing, and that next year's awards they'll be nominated. But at that point, they're going to be so far in the rearview mirror for all the nominations.
Right, it won't be as current for anyone anymore. Yeah.
So Penny Nichols jumped on, and she said she agrees with Dan with Sterling K. Brown pick,
there you go,
and Dan's mom's on.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
And she loves Mrs. Maisel too.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
Awesome.
so the reason I put it here is my guess is that it would be a comedy. It sort of is that in between drama comedy, but it's a 1 hour comedy. So this is where it should be.
Yep.
But,
So you would have voted for it if it were there.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Everything. So outstanding performance by a male actor in a comedy series. We've got Anthony Anderson for Blackish, Aziz Ansari for Master of None, Larry David for Curb Your Enthusiasm, Sean Hayes for Will and Grace, William H. Macy for Shameless, and Mark Marone for Glow.
Excellent. All excellent actors, all excellent shows. Blackish is hilarious.
Yeah.
Master of None is hilarious. Aziz won the Golden Globe.
Yeah.
All right. But I went with Larry David because I think Larry David is hilarious, and I love that show. Again, it's because of the show. I love that show. It's my favorite out of the list of shows that are on here. William H. Macy is hilarious. He's great in Shameless, but it's not my favorite show.
Right.
Yeah.
I watched the first 3 seasons, every episode, and then I just fell off.
Yeah.
So, but Curb Your Enthusiasm, I watch every season, every episode.
Yeah.
So, and I think Larry David's just hilarious. So, I'm going with Larry
And
David.
you have your favorites.
Yeah, hold up. I'm going to bring up a little picture
pictures
here of Larry. I got a picture of Larry. There's
There
Larry.
you go.
All right. Yep, Larry David. So, just wanted to throw that out there. But, Dan, who you got?
So I am very behind on this category. I haven't seen the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I was lukewarm on that show. I don't know. It just caught me at a weird time, and I just never really kind of bit
There's
into
an edge to it. It's like you got to have and appreciate that. Yeah.
And I only recently got Showtime back, so I haven't seen Shameless. We didn't have that for a big period of time. So I voted for Sean Hayes because Will and Grace is the only one I've seen this year.
Okay, all right.
And he's still
Fair
funny.
enough.
So
yeah, I did that character. Jack is amazing. It's a lot of fun. His character, a lot of energy, and he plays it, to a T.
And his
Phenomenal.
YouTube videos are funny as hell.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are. What do you got, Robert?
They're all wonderful. Between Aziz Ansari and Master of None was a big favorite as well. And then with Sean Hayes, Will and Grace, I mean, when they first brought back the show and it's going to be a reboot, I thought, okay, here we go. Let's revive this thing. It's years ago, but it was a funny show. And I've been really impressed by the new episodes. They maintained an energy and a life, and Sean Hayes is very funny. He's a funny guy. Now, sometimes it might be shtick that you see a lot, but
It works in that world.
It works in that world, in that show. So
Yeah.
I was between Aziz and Sean, and I think in the end I went with Sean Hayes because it was a favorite show that influenced me. But
you kind of like me.
Yeah.
You go with the show
You
you,
go with
like
the show you
best.
like. So.
And they both kind of came back from the dead, both
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They were gone, now they're back.
So, but no detriment to some of these other guys, and Aziz is probably going to take it. Is my guess.
All right, so we are.
But a
working
shout
our
out
way
to
through.
one of our Actors Club family who played a role on this past season.
Yeah.
So Rasik Ohal played on Master of None. I think
Yes,
he
he
played
did.
Rasik.
Aziz's uncle or
Yeah.
cousin. So
Yeah.
There you go.
Congratulations, Rasik.
Yeah. Very proud
Yeah,
of you,
Nice,
man.
that's cool.
Absolutely.
One of our own Actors Club. That's
yeah,
amazing.
we love that.
All right, moving on. What's the next one? You want me to read this one
Go
out?
for
Go for it. Go for
All
it.
right, outstanding performance by a female actor in a comedy series.
Yeah.
Uzo Aduba for Orange is the New Black. And if you don't know who she is on there, she's amazing.
Crazy Eyes.
Yep. Alison Brie for Glow. Jane Fonda for Grace and Frankie.
Yeah.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who we all know and love.
Veep.
And Lily Tomlin from Grace and Frankie as well.
Yep.
So, go ahead, Robert. Who'd you pick?
Well, again, all great actresses, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I mean, we've all worked with her, and she's a wonderful lady and a wonderful performer. But I was a big fan of Grace and Frankie, and I was very torn. Ken and I talked about this between Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, because I've loved Lily Tomlin.
Yes.
And Lily Tomlin had a very specific character, was kind of fun, kind of shticky again. So you begin to look at, well, what is shtick versus what is really depth of acting, per se. And there was something about Jane Fonda playing this rich, well-to-do woman who just can't cope with anything. She drinks all the time, but there's this heart of reality that sort of comes out in these multiple layers. So I don't know how much is just Jane Fonda being Jane Fonda, but I voted for Jane Fonda, Grace and Frankie.
Excellent.
I voted for Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Homer.
Everyone calls Tom Brady the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
And
Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the GOAT. She is.
All-time
She is
female comedic lead. Absolutely.
I mean, people. It's just.
Well, you know what? I'd love to see her go up against Lucille Ball in a simulation,
a
computer simulation, to see how that works.
Kind of
out.
like that Rocky Balboa.
Exactly.
Rocky.
Yeah.
I'd love to see her go up against her, but okay.
I think she is. I mean, and the Ken and I are a little apart on this, but I think Veep has, it transitioned from Armando Iannucci and the folks from the thick of it that were over in the UK that were running the show when they moved off and David Mandel took over. It didn't miss a beat, and it got. I think that the absurdity of it is that it can't keep up with the real life White House.
It can't. That's true, because
you couldn't write that stuff if you tried.
Yes, it's one hysterical thing after another in the real world.
Right. we thought Selena was the most inept politician, but hold my beer.
Yeah, hold this.
And if you haven't said this, and for anybody who doesn't know, I mean, Dan is sneezed on Julia Louis-Dreyfus. You were the famous sneezer in season 1. I mean, a brilliant job, and proud to have known you doing that.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So my pick was Lily Tomlin from Grace and Frankie, because Grace and Frankie is another one of my wife's favorite shows. And again, I catch episodes of it when we're sitting around, and I just find her to be really funny. And you know what? I don't think Julia Louis-Dreyfus is going to miss it if she doesn't win another award. So I'd like to see somebody else win an award.
Well, the best thing, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, by the way, I mean, she just finished, her chemo treatments for breast cancer, and
she did.
She's been, we're thrilled to hear that she's come through that. Really,
right, a pillar of strength and inspiration for so many as well. Yeah.
But when she goes up there, her acceptance speeches, and when she gets Gary up there, or Tony Hale up there in character, and so they're fantastic. So I always root for her to win, just because I want to see what
she says,
funny bit she's going to pull.
Come up,
So thank you, Rachel Foreman, for coming on board. Yes, the new Will and Grace is hysterical. Yeah. Charlie Bunce, we will talk about the X-Files next year when they're nominated for an award.
Yeah.
Dan and Veep. That's right.
That's it.
Woot. That is amazing. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. Whoa. All right. So next, outstanding performance by an ensemble in a drama series.
Drama.
Now this is where I really think this is where my vote goes, right?
Okay.
Because I love the shows that are all nominated, and The Crown. All right, I watch it with my wife. Game of Thrones, I never miss an episode. I've never missed an episode. The Handmaid's Tale, I've seen a couple times. It's one of my wife's things. And Stranger Things, I haven't missed an episode. And This Is Us, I'm just not into it. But that doesn't mean I won't go back and try again.
Right.
But for me, outstanding performance in the ensemble is Game of Thrones. By far, I just love every character in that. Peter Dinklage, I think he's amazing. The actor who plays Jaime Lannister, I can't remember his name.
Nikolai Waldo. Yeah, it's a hyphenated last name.
All of them. The Hound, Jon Snow. Yeah. They're just I just am drawn into all the characters. I just love them.
Right.
So Game of Thrones for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Bob?
I went with The Crown because, again, the writing, the ensemble work is just so spectacular. Game of Thrones is spectacular, and again, all these other shows are great, but for me, I really loved it, and I couldn't wait to watch the next episode and to see what was going to happen, and the way they all just played so solidly together. It was very believable, very moving, very touching.
And this was hard because Stranger Things, that cast is amazing, and most of them are kids, and they're really pulling just massive heavy lifting for what they're asking of those kids, and they're delivering. It's fantastic. But I went with This Is Us. I just think that when you talk about an ensemble, it is just an amazing ensemble. Every one of them could be the lead actor in any category, and you get Mandy Moore is kind of playing in the past in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and then as the older version of herself. So it's just I love the performances. That's where I went.
Yeah, and their day will come.
Hey, listen, guys, it's so hard because all of these shows are so good.
Yeah.
And these actors are so good. It's the best actors in the world.
Yeah. Really.
And that's what makes it fun to talk about these things.
Yeah, and it's the cream of the crop. They're the top
you
shows.
You like This Is Us. I've seen 2 episodes.
Yeah,
right.
I like Game of Thrones. But I know you like Game of Thrones as well.
I love Game of Thrones too.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's just so hard to make. And your mom says it too. She loved The Crown too.
Yeah.
My wife loves The Crown. I watched some episodes. I want to watch more now that I've seen it. But it's so hard to make that final choice. But you got to make one, right?
My mom gets mad at me every year. She's like, "Will you please vote for Outlander?" Like, they're not nominated. They're not on the ballot.
They're not here this year. So
blame him. He was on the nomination committee.
2,400 actors.
Over
2,400 SAG members did that. Randy Lindsay, glad to have you with us, sir.
Thanks, Randy. So outstanding performance by an ensemble in a comedy series. Blackish. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Glow. Orange is the New Black. And of course, Veep.
Right.
So,
and this is where I would have voted for Mrs. Maisel if it were
Right,
available.
right. We're there.
I wrote it in.
Yeah. It was a write-in vote.
Write-in vote.
Do you think any of the leads from Mrs. Maisel would have been nominated?
Yeah, Rachel Bresnahan for lead actress, and then I don't know her name. She was part of the Mad TV group. She plays her manager.
Wow. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, kind of a shorter, dark-haired.
Right, right.
So she would have been nominated without a doubt, and I think Tony Shalhoub and
Tony,
he's
wonderful,
phenomenal,
great. Wonderful. Yeah.
So I went with Veep. Obviously, I'm biased, but that is just as great as Julia Louis-Dreyfus is, the rest of that cast, more of the show usually revolves around them, and Tony Hale and Matt Walsh and Timothy Simons and Anna Klumsky. They're just amazing.
An amazing ensemble.
Sam Richardson, Kevin Dunn. So it's a ridiculously talented ensemble, and they nail it every time.
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, they've become so used to each other. It's almost like a great sports team.
Yeah.
You don't even have to know where the other guy is. You know where he is.
Just trust that trust element.
Just trust that you know where he is and what they're going to do.
Right.
And you just know that.
Right.
So I mean, it's an amazing chemistry with those guys, and they perfected it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is phenomenal. So
I went with Veep as well, and,
okay.
And I mean, for us, it's because we're in Maryland, and also they're now back in Los Angeles. But Veep was a lot of people may or may not know, it was a local show here for a long time. And when I worked for Pat Moran, I did casting on season 1, and we got to know these people very well. And you guys were on the show, and so there's definitely a personal connection beyond it just being a really incredible show that we all feel like it's part of our homie buddies and. Yeah. And that's a very personal thing that it's very rare to find that. And so yeah, Veep is a very special place in my heart. So as wonderful as the other shows are, Veep still got my vote.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to just blow that up right now. So once Veep left Maryland,
that was it.
They were dead to me.
Dead.
That was it. So not voting for them ever again. Sorry. I'm just being honest.
That's
so,
good.
You're dead to me.
You're dead to me. You left Maryland. You took all the jobs with you, and and all my friends are out of work now. So guess what? Not voting for you. So that's just me being
honest. That's true.
And I went with Curb Your Enthusiasm again. I just love that show. I think Larry David and all the people that he has on are just fabulous comedians, and they do an excellent job with that show.
But
sorry,
we knew you were going to say that.
Sorry, official JLD. I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, well.
You know.
And Jill Redding was on the show too, loving it. And many local actors and many of our Actors Club members that were on the show either as extras or principals. So
YouTube.
What's that?
Check YouTube.
Our YouTube,
okay.
yeah, we got our YouTube. And guys, if you are watching us on Facebook Live, we are on YouTube Live as well, and vice versa. So if you do see us later on and you want to share, put notes on there, please do.
And Honora, I looked, I couldn't find to see if Laura Prepon was part of the
this season's cast.
This season's cast that was nominated.
Yeah, so. But I went on to Orange, and Orange. What?
Yeah, that's easy for you to say. Patrick Berry said, "Blame Maryland, not HBOV." That's easy for you to say,
Easy
living
for
out
you
there
to
in
say,
LA.
LA, right?
boy.
Patrick Berry,
LA boy.
So we're gonna jump to the outstanding action performance by a stunt ensemble in a comedy or drama series. So we're gonna wrap up TV with the stunt performers.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So the nominees are Game of Thrones.
All right. Hold up. I'm gonna bring up a Game of Thrones picture. There you go. All right. Cool. Got it.
There we go.
And this is a big one because they, that was the loot train episode with the massive battle scene.
Right.
Glow, which takes place in the world of women's wrestling.
Okay.
So obviously a lot of stunts every episode.
You mean they're not really wrestling?
What's that?
They're not really wrestling. Those are stunts.
Okay.
Homeland.
Yes,
yes.
which is a great
Showtime.
show. I would love to get an opportunity to be on that show.
Yeah.
Which
our,
is-
our buddy Matt Servito's been on Homeland, been doing
Sure.
some regular role on that, so check it
And
out.
he's it's filming now in the Richmond, Virginia area.
Virginia,
So that we lost Veep, we got Homeland.
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And The Walking Dead, which a couple of our so we're in a film called The Night Watchman.
Yes.
So some of our friends here have heard plenty about that. But
That movie we never talk about.
If this is the first time listening to us, you're going to hear about it.
In the Night
over and over and over. But several of our acting stunt team ended up down in the Atlanta area working on that this past season. They were in. They were in the water when Rick has to go out in that boat.
To
They
the
were some
houseboat,
of the houseboat. So I guess it was the finale, right?
I'm not 100% sure.
It was mid-season finale.
Yeah, mid-season. It was the mid-season. You're right. Yeah.
So a lot of we have a lot of friends that have made their way onto that one.
The night what man?
Charlie Budd says the
Charlie?
Night Woman.
What?
Don't make me come looking for you, Charlie.
We will reach through this camera and.
Is fake fighting or fake fighting stunts? That's a good question, JP.
Fake fighting of fake fighting stunts.
Yes.
Right.
So, all right.
Yeah.
I got it. All right. D. Wayne, thanks for joining us from down in New Orleans. Thanks, buddy. Good to see you.
So I think we were unanimous on this one, weren't we? We all went with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, with Game of Thrones we did.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, there's the episode
Game of Thrones.
we're talking
There it is,
about.
right there.
There you go.
There was a behind the scenes segment from HBO, and they set the record for most stunt people burned.
Yep.
Because the dragon attacks.
Right,
spoiler. The dragon attacks this massive train of Lannister army men, and it burns them all. So they had so many people, so many stunt performers doing burns simultaneously, and it's and they do great stunts all the time, but that particular this season they've really kind of.
Well, should that be makeup, or is it
No.
makeup too?
No.
Just real burns. These are
stunt.
real
Yeah.
burns.
No,
They
lit-
set them on fire.
Lit on fire.
No, the real. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just was
Lit
clarifying
them
it for
on
anybody
fire.
who may have wondered if it was just makeup or like we're burning these people. For
All right, so we have to pick up the pace here.
We do.
because we're
There's one
running
thing I
out of
want to
time.
point out, though. I don't understand why we do it this way.
Oh wow, yeah.
On the film side, we do lead actor and supporting actors.
Yeah.
But on the SAG Awards TV side, we don't do supporting actor, which I think is a disservice.
Yeah.
There's also there are also some people out there who would like to see an award for a overall background cast in a film. Like, that background was amazing because you had so many people in that scene.
Well, there's art. I mean, I can speak
know what I mean?
directly on that, and we all can. It definitely, to make it look very real, and the depth. Pat Moran
Yes.
was known for that, for The Wire and Homicide. I mean, it just absolutely the creativity to make it look that real.
Yeah, so I don't
I agree.
think you single out one extra, but you single out the entire project's extras.
Yes, exactly.
You can single out one every
Yes,
now and then, like
exactly.
the guy in Quantum of Solace that's sweeping, but he isn't
Yes.
even touching the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So over on to the film, the theatrical motion pictures
All right.
categories.
The real movie.
For the stunt drivers. Is that what we're doing? or
Oh no,
we
we're
jumping
gonna
back?
we'll segue in. We'll use the
Might as well
stunts to
do
segue
stuff.
between the two categories.
Yeah. All right,
Okay.
let's go.
So, outstanding action performance by a stunt ensemble in a motion picture.
Okay.
We've got Baby Driver, lots of great driving, stunt driving.
Yeah, check out that with the cameraman on top of that car in Baby Driver.
Yeah.
That's a pretty phenomenal shot right there.
We've got Dunkirk.
Which it was an outstanding film, by the way.
was.
Yes.
And the amount of people they had on the beach and doing
Yeah.
the stuff that
Right,
they were
right,
doing
right.
with stuff blowing up and shrapnel flying around. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Logan.
Yes.
Um,
Great fights in that film.
War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman.
Very
Wonder
cool.
Woman.
Yes,
Yeah.
one of the top-rated films of the, on Rotten Tomatoes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and financially speaking, it did. It was one of the highest of the.
I'm kind of
year.
hoping now that they've got the extra couple categories in the Oscars that
Maybe
they throw Wonder Woman. It deserved it. It was a monster in the middle of the year. It just,
Yeah.
Right.
massive box office. Patty Jenkins knocked it out of the park. So, but that's a different.
That's a different
broadcast.
topic and a different,
Or another show.
different story.
We'll do another
'Cause
show. We'll do
we
another
don't
show.
agree on that either.
Okay. So, go ahead, Bob.
My vote was for Dunkirk. There's so many choices here, but Dunkirk, the power of it, the impact, I thought that was impressive.
I went with Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Because there was a huge, the fights and the diversity of the stunt people that worked on that film.
And you like Wonder Woman.
And
Totally.
Gal Gadot was smoking hot. So no,
It's
but-
the only place we could vote for.
Yeah,
Gal Gadot.
exactly. So, but no, it was great. And War for the Planet of the Apes. That's another conversation for another day about that whole series.
Yeah,
but we'll talk
I
about
love
that
the
another
original
time.
ones, the original movies. So anyway.
And I went with Baby Driver. It was
you go.
probably one of my favorite, one or two favorite movies of the year so far, and just loved everything about the movie, and in particular the driving was just phenomenal. So if you get a chance, check it out. Edgar Wright.
And the soundtrack too.
Oh, the soundtrack was great. Yeah.
Penny Nichols, I agree with Ken. And and Patrick Berry said featured extras. Yes, featured extras.
Yes, featured extras.
Yeah.
Like Ken Arnold in Random Hearts. I should have won that year for jogging through the mall with those short jogging shorts on. It was pretty sexy.
Did you get video of that?
No.
No, we don't have that.
And if
video
there
too.
is, I burned it a long time ago.
So we'll find it. If you
So,
find it on YouTube somewhere,
there you go.
guys, we'll bring it up.
All right, let's move on. What are we moving on to here? man?
Outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role. We have
Okay.
Judi Dench for
Okay.
Victoria and Abdul.
I have
Yes.
pictures for all of these, so
Oh, okay.
give me
So
give me an
a chance to
opportunity.
find them. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Victoria,
We've got Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water.
Yep, with Octavia Spencer right there, who
yeah.
was nominated for supporting.
Frances McDormand, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yes,
Yes.
Frances, she was phenomenal. Go ahead.
Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, who was also phenomenal.
I really enjoyed that film.
That was really good.
yeah.
It's funny, odd but funny.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead and say this name, Dan, without messing it up, because I can't.
Saoirse Ronan.
Is that
Saoirse
it?
Ronan.
Very good.
Saoirse
Good.
for Lady Bird.
Awesome. Because
There you
I'd
go.
have butchered that one.
Sarosi.
Yes.
So Dan, since you're
Very
what about your choices and what are your thoughts on that?
I didn't catch. I did 3. I caught 3 of these. I just ran out of time and I didn't catch 3 Billboards. So I was trying to get to that one, but it just was one of those things where just not enough time in the period that we had. I loved Margot Robbie and I, Tonya. I thought the performances in Lady Bird were good, but I didn't love the movie itself.
Yeah.
So again, it colored it. The program. Okay.
But Sally Hawkins and Ken and I were talking about this before. Sally Hawkins in The Shape of Water.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful, beautiful movie, and so her entire performance, she's mute. So
Right.
so you've got somebody who is relaying a lead character's worth of weight of the story and of the performance with
outwards
one of their tools,
completely,
just all in face and body and except for one part, but so it was beautiful. I loved it. I thought she was just brilliant, and
I would say that might be the picture of the year.
I agree with you guys on that.
Because of all of it, not just because of one or two.
Absolutely, all the components.
It's going to tear up in cinematography and in sound design and it's beautiful.
Makeup, special effects, everything. What'd you do there, Robert? Who'd you
go
for?
Same thing, Sally Hawkins. But I will say that I was very, very close with Frances McDormand. Very powerful performance as well. But then, again, you talk about certain actors that play themselves, and when there is a type or an energy, and they're sort of the same in lots of movies, they can still bring a beautiful performance, but they don't transform entirely. So I think maybe the stretch for Sally Hawkins as well, and like you guys pointed out about the silent bits and the miming and the sign language, I thought that was really amazing, and I loved the whole movie. So it was a tough call there, but I'm going with Sally Hawkins.
Yep, I had the same issue between those two actresses, Sally Hawkins and Frances McDormand, because they were both such strong performances.
Oh, absolutely.
But again, because I like The Shape of Water so much, and I think it's going to be Picture of the Year, and she was a big reason for that, so I went with her. Now, not to put down Three Billboards, because Three Billboards could take Best Picture as well.
Yeah, they don't always follow one from the other, not necessarily.
So it could take Best Picture as well, but yeah, I went Sally Hawkins because of that aspect where she couldn't speak. Most actors get script.
Right.
You know?
At least you didn't have to worry about forgetting a line.
Yeah, it's hard. The what was the one a couple of years ago where it was a silent film that won?
The Artist?
Yeah, that
The Artist.
Yes. Yeah, that was pretty cool too, the way they did that. Yeah. So yeah.
But I think I don't want to. We're all talking about Sally Hawkins and Frances McDormand. Margot Robbie was
great.
Amazing,
wonderful job
as Tanya Harding, and
she was great.
Actually, kind of, I remember the story, but it really gave you a lot about who she was as a person and just the hell she went through. So
yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role. Timothy Chalamet.
Do you want me to do these so you can pull up the...
Yeah, go ahead. You read them. I'll go. Go ahead.
Timothy Chalamet, Call Me By Your Name.
Got it.
James Franco, The Disaster Artist. Hi, Mark.
Yes. Oh, hi, Mark.
Daniel Kaluuya, Get Out.
Right.
Gary Oldman, The Darkest Hour.
There he is.
Yes.
And Denzel Washington, Roman J. Israel, Esquire.
Yes, sir. There he is. Outstanding job by all of these gentlemen, but we have to pick somebody, right? So
it's tough.
Who did we pick? You want me to go first on this one?
Go for it.
All right. So I watched all of these films, and every single one of them was an excellent film. Call Me By Your Name, I watched it, and I love the cinematography in it, but was his performance better than the one that I chose? No. James Franco, The Disaster Artist, he did an outstanding job becoming someone else, a real person in real life who we've seen and we know, and he nailed that persona. Daniel Kaluuya in Get Out, I liked Get Out. I thought but I didn't think it was phenomenal like everybody went off the deep end with it. I didn't go off the deep end. I thought it was a good film, but I didn't think his performance matches up with the one I chose, which is next, Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman just embodied, which I didn't even realize it was Gary Oldman. Right. I mean, that's what did it for me. And I was sitting there just going, oh, that's Gary Oldman? You got to be kidding. So that in and of itself. And it was a combination of things, the makeup and his performance and everything. But I think he just blew everybody out of the water. And Denzel, Denzel's performance is great. One of my favorite performances by Denzel ever is Roman J. Israel. If you haven't seen this film yet, guys, get out and see it. It's a great film. But he just couldn't, he just, in my mind, he wasn't better than Gary Oldman this year.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
So next.
No, I mean, it was very, very tough. And it's interesting because we were talking earlier when I talked about young performers and what stands out. While I loved all of these guys, I just felt like, because I loved the movie Call Me By Your Name, I thought it was a beautiful movie, and Is it necessarily the best outstanding performance? Again, colored a little bit by enjoyment or love of the show. And
Sure.
my other half, Craig, really loved Call Me By Your Name. He's going to see it again in the theater, as well. And so I did a shout out for Timothée Chalamet this time. I thought it was an interesting choice.
I think that he's going to have an outstanding career.
Right.
Maybe
Maybe
and
not
this
yet.
is a great start for him.
And he's also in Lady Bird.
Yes, he is.
Lady Bird as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
But his role is much smaller,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
And this is where our awards, the SAG Awards, are different than, the Golden Globes don't always really indicate what might happen in others because they split their films into
Right.
drama and comedy musical. So you have Gary Oldman, who won the drama category there, and you have James Franco, who won the comedy musical.
In separate categories.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went with James Franco.
Any special reason, Franco?
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 It's with a K.
Oh, yeah,
It's with
but
a
still,
K.
it sounds the same.
It does.
Franco.
I would totally be the third Franco brother.
Okay.
James,
okay.
James, Dave, and Dan.
That-
But I just feel like it's very easy when you're doing a real person like we've
Sure.
mentioned to fall into a
trap.
a characterization of that person or imitating them and not necessarily delivering a full performance.
Bringing it to life completely.
And I didn't feel that here. I felt like he brought it to life. There was vulnerability. There was bitterness. This was a broken person, and I felt that from his performance. So it wasn't just this funny accent, two-dimensional facade of a character. It went all the way through, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So your mom said that Churchill better than the actor on The Crown. John
Lithgow.
Yeah,
plays
John
it.
Lithgow.
yeah.
Yes, John Lithgow did play, but yeah, Gary
Churchill.
Oldman. Yes, I don't know if you've seen the film yet, Debbie, but if you get a chance, see Darkest Hour.
Yeah.
And John Lithgow's performance was outstanding as well.
Yeah.
Wasn't he nominated last year?
Yeah, but not this year, so it wasn't a choice, sadly. Like
Yeah.
Mrs. Meisel.
Yeah. Okay. So you've made your pick.
Yep.
Yep.
James
All right.
Franco.
So we're moving on to the next category. All right, hold on one second, Dan, and you can read them down. Okay, I got my photos lined up.
So this is outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role.
Mm-hmm.
Mary J. Blige
Yep.
for Mudhound.
Yeah.
Mudbound.
I'm sorry, Mudbound.
Mudbound.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Hong Chow for Downsizing.
All right, hold on a second. I've got to find my place here again, and I will bring it up.
Okay.
Go ahead. There she is. She's right next to Matt Damon there to the
Okay.
left.
Holly Hunter for The Big Sick.
And there she
Yeah.
is with Ray Romano
Yeah.
in the film.
Allison Janney for I, Tonya.
Mm.
And Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird.
Again, all phenomenal actors.
Yeah.
And all in phenomenal projects. I mean, each one of those was the one that I didn't like. The one I liked the least was Downsizing. It's boring to me.
You didn't like it?
You didn't like that movie?
No,
So.
not it.
So sorry, Downsizing.
Yeah.
You've been downsized.
I can. So who wants to start out?
I think let me see yours. I think we are unanimous.
We're
here.
unanimous on this,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
we can all talk about.
Can you all want to do it at the same time? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Allison Janney.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, wow. That was so.
Blew it out
Yes.
of the wall. And I kept thinking, as an actor, to get lines like that and to just say whatever you want and go wherever you want to go with it is just. It must have been fun for her. I'm hoping.
I mean, she was the most menacing villain I've seen on film in years.
Really?
Forget Star Wars. Forget
The Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch of the West. I mean,
she made Nurse Ratchet look like Florence Nightingale. I feel
that's a great
She
quote.
really
I
did.
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean,
if you haven't seen I, Tonya for that alone, you have to see Allison Janney's performance.
Yeah.
She was great. So Allison Janney, I don't think we need to really discuss any of the other performances.
No, that's it. Sorry, guys.
So she just blew them out of the water. All right. So outstanding performance by a male actor in a supporting role.
All right.
So the nominees are Steve Carell for Battle of the Sexes, William Dafoe for The Florida Project,
Yep.
Woody Harrelson, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri,
Yeah.
Richard Jenkins, The Shape of Water,
Yeah.
and Sam Rockwell, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Awesome.
All again, really great performances,
But so you got to pick somebody.
Yep.
So Dan, who'd you pick?
I went with Richard Jenkins.
Outstanding pick.
He is, he's one of those guys that is, I call them that guy actors. You've seen him. Most of the time, people don't know the person's name. I feel like they do the bulk of the great work in film and TV. It's what I aspire to, is to be just that guy that people don't know your name, except for James Franco. If you know my name, then hopefully you'll hook me up.
Give him a call.
But no, he was a broken, lost character, and just very. It was just going with the overall tone of the movie. It was just a beautiful movie, beautiful performances, and his was definitely one of them.
And he stepped up. He's broken. He was down.
Yeah.
And he stepped up and helped when he was needed.
Yeah.
So that's what it was a great performance.
Yeah.
And I really loved him in Eat, Pray, Love. Do you remember his performance in that? The monologue he did in Eat, Pray, Love with Julia Roberts.
I didn't see that one.
I have to go see that too.
Watch his monologue in that. Wow.
Yeah.
It's just wow. That was when I really fell in love with his performances.
Cool.
Was watching Eat, Pray, Love. Again, my wife made me watch it, but it is a great film.
So was that your vote too?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to kiss Richard Jenkins' butt.
There you go.
Okay.
I like him. My pick was Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
From 3 Billboards, and because again he could say and do whatever he wanted because he was the bad guy who you got to see the film. I'm not going to spoil it, but he was the bad guy, and again, when you play the bad guy, you can
really sink your teeth
yeah,
into
you can
it.
just let it rip, and he did, and he was phenomenal in the role. I mean, I have worked with him in other things, so
Better Living Through Chemistry.
Better Living Through Chemistry. Ken is kind of the bully to his character.
And I've worked with him. I read lines with him with other scenes on that, and got a chance to see how he works.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think he's a great actor, and I think Green Mile is one of his best performances. Yes. He got to play again the bad guy,
right,
and he just embodies that, and he did this as well in 3 Billboards. So
yeah, and that was my vote too, Sam Rockwell, for the same reasons, and just the changes from being really sort of a stupid, manipulative kind of a guy to where his character, if you see the movie again, no spoilers, but the way he transforms, really it was powerful. I loved it, and while I love Woody Harrelson too, Woody is Woody. And he's great, but that was very specific. And the other guys too. Richard Jenkins, I think, was brilliant. And it's true. I like what you said about the actors that you don't always recognize, but you know them when you see them, and they start to move into other categories eventually because of that. So
they do. I mean, Chris Cooper was one of those. Steve Buscemi was one of those, and they do eventually
start really standing out on their own, which is amazing to watch a career as actors to see that transformation. And Hillary was saying, did you see him in The Visitor? Jenkins was great. So
I don't know that I saw that one.
So, but thank you, Hillary. We'll check it out.
Absolutely. We will look at The Visitor.
So we are on our last category.
Yes,
I'm ready to wrap up. We've been going an hour now, guys. Wow, good show.
Well, that was the goal was an hour.
Yeah.
So
good job.
So outstanding performance by a cast in a motion picture. The Big Sick.
All right, hold on.
Do you have it?
Yes, I do, sir. Let me do something real quick before I do that. All right, go ahead.
So The Big Sick, which I know you liked a lot, Ken.
Yes, I thought it was a great film. I
like the movie too.
Again, it had a serious undertone to it, but it was pretty funny. It had some great funny stuff in it.
Yeah.
So. Get Out.
All right, let me bring that up. There we go. There's their poster.
Okay.
There it is. Again, a great film. I thought it was a great film. I thought it was outstanding. But was it as good as everybody made it out to be? I'm not so sure. All right, go ahead.
Lady Bird.
There we go. Just a remake of Pretty in Pink, if you ask me. But I'm not saying.
And I did like a lot of the performances in this, particularly the dad and Laurie Metcalf,
right?
And the friend Beanie Feldstein, which is Jonah Hill's sister.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
And because of there's a musical that takes place in the movie, she got cast in, what's the one Bette Midler's doing, Hello Dolly?
Hello Dolly.
She got cast in that because...
Well, it's not Bernadette Peters just stepped in with Vince Gardenia. Not Vince Gardenia. Victor Garber.
Victor Garber, right.
Yes,
stepped in,
I know Victor Garber.
Yeah.
That's a story for another time.
Okay, we got a lot more shows to come, guys. So
Mudbound.
Yes.
Which, if I put that on the other day, and beautifully shot. The costumes. It's a period piece. I mean, an outstanding. Yes, a total outstanding cast. Was it better than the cast that I picked? In my opinion,
Right.
no. But they were all great.
And this is Netflix's movie arm, and they're
doing great.
They're bringing it. They're they don't do anything. Even their bad shows are better than half of the stuff,
right.
or movies are better than this stuff that's on a lot of network television.
Yep.
And 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yep.
And what I think is interesting is that out of these 5 choices that made it to the final category, that The Shape of Water as a motion picture was not in this as an ensemble cast.
As an ensemble, right.
Surprised me.
Yeah.
But can I go? I voted for 3 billboards. I thought out of these pictures, the ensemble cast, all these wonderful characters that chimed in and appeared, I thought it was very real, funny, and yet frightening and moving at the same time. So.
Yes. I picked 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri as well. I really enjoyed that film overall. Again, it could possibly take best picture at the Oscars.
Yeah.
But I was a little disappointed that Shape of Water, the cast with stool bars and Octavia Spencer, who didn't
Michael
get
Shannon.
a supporting.
Right.
She didn't get a supporting. I'm like, what? She didn't get. I even downloaded her picture because I thought she was in the supporting category.
Sure, yeah.
And she wasn't there. I was like, oh, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah.
So, The Shape of Water, I'm kind of surprised they're not in this category. But, I wasn't on the nominating committee. I don't know what crazy people were.
Well, he was on the TV side because they split it.
Okay.
I did not get the films at
all right,
all.
well, I'll let you
I wish
slide.
I did. I would have liked to have seen more of
I'll
them
let
earlier
you slide
on.
then.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
And this is one of those ones for me where I didn't see enough of the movies. I think Lady Bird's the only one of this group that I saw, and so based off of conversations with you and with some other people, I voted for 3 billboards outside of Ebbing.
Okay, cool.
All right, good.
But I did that just on faith in the people I know.
Right. So we're going to find out tonight, like how close we are, and what our other fellow actors voted for as well, our SAG members.
So one more thing before we go. This gentleman, I'm going to bring his picture up right now. He is actually going to get the Lifetime Achievement Award tonight. Morgan Freeman. So there's Morgan Freeman right there. He has his incredible body of work over his career.
He's even played God.
He actually said, yes, he has. I want to play God one day.
All the way back to the Electric Company.
Yes, the Electric Company.
That's
and
it, right?
What was his? He says it's Driving Miss Daisy, the one that put him on the map.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But here's my favorite role.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring this up. Red from Shawshank.
Oh,
Redemption.
my gosh, yes.
What a great film.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's such a great performance by him.
That's one of those ones that TNT, who's doing the SAG Awards, they always put that on at like 11 o'clock at night. And when it comes on, I'm there. I'm in.
Right.
Like we're up till 2:30 that night. Not as much anymore, but there was a period of time where it was always on right there, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch
it again.
So congratulations to Morgan Freeman for your Lifetime Achievement Award.
Right.
It's well deserved. You should have had it like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But
his lifetime is still going.
Yeah,
I
his
mean, the man
lifetime
is still working. He's still
That's
going.
true.
So.
He's one of the great ones that and I think particularly resonates with us is that he got his break much later in his career.
Older.
He wasn't in his 20s and his 30s. Yeah, he was in his
but
late
working all the time.
Yes.
Like that,
and
building on it,
which is great.
Yeah.
So that's inspiration for us because we're in Maryland and acting is hard enough when you are in New York or LA.
Right.
And for us to be where we are, and the people who work in Actors Club with us to get the work that they've gotten. And that's pretty impressive, I think.
I'm very proud of all of them.
I don't want to kiss my own, but
I'm there you go.
So real quick, let's. So Actors Club is is a group that we founded here, and it's an acting workshop that meets every other Tuesday.
Sure.
We are in Columbia, Maryland, at the Columbia Arts Center is our home, and so it's every other Tuesday, and it sort of operates like an actor's gym.
That's a great description. I like that when you guys came up with
Absolutely.
that. Exercise your skills and your talents. Find techniques to strengthen your work.
Yeah, because you know what, acting I know it's true for me, and I hear it from other actors as well. You're not working every week as an actor. You're not working every day. There are some downtimes. There are times when you need to keep fresh and keep your skills up, and this is a good opportunity to do it. It's also a good opportunity to network and find out what's going on in your area and to meet people. And let me tell you something, guys. I don't care what anybody else says, but in this business, who you know is where you go in a lot of cases.
It helps.
So
big time.
To get out and to network with people really helps. So if you get a chance, come see us at Actors Club.
Yeah, and we also bring in guest artists too, other working professionals that are mainstream actors that are friends and associates in business courts, and they do some great fun stuff as well. We've had a good time.
So let's wrap this up. We had a great time talking about this stuff today. Thank you, Dan, for being here. Thank you, Robert, for being here on Sunday afternoon. I know football's coming up soon, so we all got, except for you, Robert, you've got to go.
I got other stuff to do.
You got other stuff to do.
Yeah, Ken's going to be watching the second broadcast of the
Screen Actors.
Yeah.
I'm watching the first broadcast of the Eagles and the Vikings.
Right, exactly.
I'm watching that live. I will catch up on the SAG Awards afterwards. But thank you guys for joining in. All the people who came in and commented today, thank you. We appreciate it. But we need to get out of here. So tonight on TNT and TBS at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, you can watch the SAG Awards. And the red carpet actually starts at 6 p.m., I believe. It might even start earlier than that on some channels. Yeah. But if you want to watch the red carpet, watch that. And then tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10 and watch the SAG Awards. And again, I just want to say my name's Ken Arnold. I'm an actor.
I'm Dan Franco, and I'm an actor.
I'm Robert Neal Marshall, and I'm an actor.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Ciao.